Okay. All right, good. So that was just some important URLs that we need to know. 50070 is for the name node, and 8088 is for the resource manager. These two are most widely used ones. Okay. Rest all you will get some link where you can go directly from there, but these two are important ones. So, and if you click over here, if you go to this, if you just scroll it over here, then there are some tabs where you can say like, I just want to see what are running process. Okay, just click over here, running. So nothing is running now, so you don't see anything, right? Sometimes you just want to see all the running process. You are not bothered about others. So all this filtering you can do directly from here. If you click on the scheduler, it tells you a detailed information about the scheduler, like which scheduler is it and which one we are using. So currently it is a fair share, right? And these are the different queues which are created. So there is a queue, there's a default queue. There's a default queue which is uh, so there's a default one and there's one created for the Cloudera. So anybody who is submitting a job from the Cloudera, it will go to the Cloudera queue like this, right? And we can allocate like how much of core, how much of CPU we want to give to it and all that, right? Priority and all of that.
Dheeraj, one question.
Hmm.
The queue, something you mentioned, one is the default, one is the Cloudera. Is it
Hmm.
something like a user-specific queue will be created, or is it something like a proxy kind of queue will be used to execute?
Yeah, so usually what is done is it is a user specific queues. So you create some queues and you bind some users to them. So any job which is submitted by those users, they will pass to that particular queue. Okay, see what usually once you will have some application ID, right? If you are running some application, your jobs, you will have some application ID through which you will be running your applications, right? So if you want to set some priorities and all, you have to set those in the queue so that application ID will become part of that queue. That will determine the priority for your jobs.
Okay, good. So the same, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just like moving to slightly different.
Hmm.
So in that same way, we can also enable a security for the data, like, I mean,
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So
okay.
that's how it is authorized. So let's say there are 10 users. Okay. I don't want a particular file to be accessed by 3 of the users. I want to give permission only to 7 out of them. I can do that. Let's say uh, there is a table. Okay. So I don't want give access to everybody. I just want give access to this table to 3 of the users. So all of those security and all, it can be easily done.
Okay.
Okay. And that
Yep.
not only till a folder or a file label, you can even do it to the attribute label. Okay. So within a table, if you want to restrict the access to some columns, that can also be done. So that level of security can be done, can be given.
Okay. I hope like we can have a much more detailed
Yeah.
down the line, maybe later
Yeah.
session. Okay.
All right. So that was so. Let's okay. I have a question. If job is running for more time, then how to kill that, right? So somebody can kill it. Yeah. So definitely. So if once you have a job which is running for more than and you just want to kill that job, so there is you have to first get the job ID and then there is a command to kill that, right? Using that Hadoop job and there will be some option with that to kill, and you just have to give the job ID and you can kill that job. Okay, so yeah, it can be killed. You just need a job ID and you can this hyphen kill, right? So Hadoop job hyphen kill, and you need to give the job ID something like submitted. There was a finished one, right? So like this is not a job ID, this is application ID, but over here we had job ID, right? So this is a job ID. So if you give this command, it will kill that particular job. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is what we discussed, right? So a batch processing, MapReduce is a batch processing model. Okay. Interactive with the stage. So usually this stage is used to run some Hive queries. Okay. It's kind of a Hive interface. Any online transactions that we want to store, we have HBase for them. Any sort of streaming data, we have Storm and Spark. Any graph processing, we have a Giraffe tools. In memory data processing, there's a Spark. HPC MPI. What is this HPC MPI? Can you tell me what is this? Just find out in the Google what is HPC MPI and tell me. Anyone? And then there are some search, like there are many search APIs like Solar. If you have heard of Elasticsearch, so a lot of those type of processes are there which does only the searching, right? So those type of, so what this means is like there are so many different types of applications that can be run on the YAM. Okay, so did anybody find what is this HPC MPI?
High performance computing
Hmm.
and massive parallel interface. I don't know, just getting conversation.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like that only. So some hyper some hyper processor and massive parallel, which is nothing but ideally it breakdowns. So this is the API. This open MPI is the tool which does this massive parallel processing. Okay, so ideally what it means is there are so many different tools, different types of the application which can be run on the same YARN. Okay. Okay, let's quickly go to the steps. I believe all of you now have understood how does a yarn work. Very quickly, I will just walk it through and then we'll go to the next concept. So the first step is a client has to submit a job, right? The client has to submit an application to the resource manager. So that's the first entry point. Any job which we submitted goes to the resource manager. The next point is step number 2 is resource manager will be allocating a container. Okay, and definitely it will be also starting an application master also by that time. So then application master will be talking to the node manager, because node manager is where application master will be running. Okay, then node manager will be launching more containers because it has to give some resources for the application master to start some processes, and then the container will execute the application master or all the tasks related to it. Okay, there is nothing, we can skip this one. We have seen all of these things, like how exactly a job is getting submitted. Okay, and these are the things, like we have seen the yarn web user interface, we have seen the, from the hue we have seen a job browser, and from the yarn command line also we can see the status of a job. So there is something known as Hadoop job hyphen status. Okay, if let's say I want to know what happened to this job, so using this status I can find out, like what is the state of it. Is it running, or it is failed, or it is completed? So using status, okay, so this is the status of the job. Okay, it gave me a detailed information about this job. So the tracking URL and everything, it gives me complete detailed information, right? So job status succeeded. So all that information we can find from the command line as well with Hadoop job status. Okay, so this is the 8088 port where the yarn resource manager runs. And we can see it from the hue also, which we just saw from the hue. What is the state? Just in the hue we have to go click on the job browser. Over here there is a job browser. Okay, once we click over here, it gives me a detailed information of all the jobs. So which job, and over here if you see, it's a map reduce job status is on as completed, map reduce 100% done, and all. Right, so it took 3 minutes 17 seconds to run this particular job. And if I run 10 more, everything will be coming over here. It's kind of a job browser, all the historical job, everything. And obviously I can filter out and all this. Okay, okay, I have a question. The Hadoop command which I'm running is saying deprecated. Yeah, so yes, you are right. So most of the commands which I use are deprecated because there has been some changes. So this Hadoop job, instead of that, there is something known as yarn job. Okay, so Hadoop command is deprecated. Now they have introduced yarn. Oops, yarn, and there's some other option, right? So, but Hadoop was the earlier versions. Like similar to that, Hadoop fs-ls is deprecated. So instead of this, they have introduced HDFS, DFS. So some changes has been done. Okay, so yeah, I mean we have to just use the latest one instead of the old one. I just have habit of using the old ones still, so that's why. Okay, so this is deprecated Hadoop FS. The new one is HDFS, DFS. So if you are browsing something, so if you see, this still works. Hadoop FS-ls still works, but the one which is the new one is HDFS, DFS-ls. So this is the new one. This is the old one, but both of them will give the same result. Okay, let's quickly go to, yeah, so there are some useful commands like yarn, and if I want to list out all the options with the yarn, there is, I can simply go and say, let it finish first. Okay, so yarn hyphen help will give me what are the different things I can do with the yarn. So all of these are the things which I can do using the yarn. So like anything that I want to deal with the resource manager, node manager, using these options I need to choose one of it, and I can, like over here, like application, so to uh, report kill application I need to use this option like yarn hyphen application and then hyphen kill, something like that. Okay, so if using Hadoop job you can use this option as well. So these are the new APIs which we can use. Right, so this yarn -help will list out all different options, and we just have to go choose appropriate one that we want. Yeah, this is important. Sometimes we might have to go look into the detailed log. Okay, if you see this from, we can see the logs from here as well. If I want to see the log, sometimes if some of the job fail, now this one is succeeded, but sometimes what happen, your job will fail. Okay, you run some job, it will fail, and you might have to investigate also to see the logs, right? So one of the way of looking at the log is you directly click over here and it will show you the log. It will open a tab, it will show the log. Otherwise, from the command line also you can see the log. And what we need to do is we have to use this option, yarn logs, yarn logs, and then I need to give the application ID like this, yarn logs hyphen application ID, give the application ID, and we'll give the entire log for that application ID. Okay, we can dump that to a file and then we can investigate. Okay,